This is Faisal TV after several days after the fight of Gaz Green and Charlie Ward at Tamworth. Spectacular event. It was a great card, and we deliberately felt that we should do this interview or the final interview days later to reflect on the event and the fight itself. So let's just speak with Gaz Green. He's back, he's refreshed, he's had a good rest. So Gaz, our first question is, how are you? And second thing I want to ask you is, how do you feel several days after the fight, and what condition are you in?
I feel good. I think everything went as planned. Obviously, lost on points, but we got the rounds in, and obviously 7-8 years out of the ring, 10 stone weight loss in 10 months, you know what I mean? But we're back in there and we've dusted off the cobwebs, and we go again on the 6th of June for the heavyweight title fight in Derby.
Okay, which is going to be another great event, and it's a bit card also. The journey to get there, eventually you just mentioned losing 10 stones and the fight itself. How was it fighting under the lights after such a long time?
It was okay. It was like I hadn't left, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? There was no nerves. And yeah, it all went to plan. Obviously I thought I might have had a few nerves for this one being out for so long, but no, as soon as I got to the venue, it was time to go, and I enjoyed it, like, you know what I mean? It was good to get back in there.
Okay, your son, he was there, it was his first time, he was very nervous, so that was a big experience. He mentioned that he really enjoyed it, but you can tell the nerves were there.
He was very nervous throughout the day. Obviously that's the first time Joshua saw me fight. Last time he saw me fight, he was only about 18 months old, and I was in against two-time world heavyweight champion of the world, Tim Witherspoon. So obviously, like I say, it was nice for him at 10 years of age to experience it, like, you know what I mean? But obviously he was very nervous, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But then again, I've been taking him down. He's been coming down with me for the last few weeks down to London to spar, and he saw me have my nose bust and all that sort of stuff. So he's getting used to it, do you know what I mean?
How do you reflect on the fight itself? Your opponent being again behind the lights after 8 years. You know, he came out crushing out to take you out within seconds. Yeah. So how do you feel about that?
His name was Charlie Wood, wasn't it? You know what? He was a tough lad. He's in his prime at 26 years of age. 6'5", a bit taller than me, tall lad, long arms, and he was 19 stone, and he was lean. You know what I mean? He was fit. So obviously, like I say, he was a credible opponent who was unbeaten as well. Do you know what I mean? So to jump straight back in, anybody else would have probably took a bit of an easier fight. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, I jumped straight in the deep end. He could punch a little bit, nothing too much to worry about. Obviously, I've got confidence in my chin, still there. And obviously, like I say, after the fight, I did have a bit of an injury in the first round. I pulled my tricep. So for the half of the fight, I was literally one-handed. But no concussion, no other injuries afterwards. Feel fantastic. Do you know what I mean? So we're good to go again.
You mentioned about the injury that you picked up in the first round. When did you pick it, and what happened?
It was about 30 seconds in, and we had a bit of a clinch, trying to break my arm free, and as I pulled it out, I just felt something just tear a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I knew straight away. I tried to lift my hands, I just couldn't even get my hands up then. Like, you know what I mean? I was in a bit of bother. Obviously, everybody who was there, who was watching, was probably thinking, "Fucking hell, what's going on?" Do you know what I mean? But it was one of them. I just had to ride the punches and take the shots on the chin, which I did fine.
Was it a breath of fresh air after the fight that you got the rounds in, and you think, oh, did you feel anything different? You know, 8 years is a long time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I didn't feel anything different. Everything felt okay. But obviously, like I say, a couple of days after the fight, like I was still aching a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Which I don't normally really ache too much. But obviously, we're 7-8 years on now. I'm 36 years of age, nearly 37. So maybe, do you know what I mean? Them aches and pains, I'm going to have to get used to them a little bit.
Okay. The event itself, away fighter, yeah. But you had a great the people welcomed you, and because you had a great ring entrance. So
you know what? I was surprised because obviously, like I say, back in the day, I could sell 150 tickets like locally, but I was surprised how many came to Tamworth for the fight. Do you know what I mean? I think I've done 40 tickets in total, which is for people to travel for the first one back. You know what I mean? It was all right. It was okay. It was a good turnout.
So going forward now, this is out the way now.
Yeah,
we mentioned, irrespective of win, lose or draw, it is a long journey. You got your next fight, I believe, in June.
6 weeks today.
But when do you go back in training camp for that?
I've had a bit of an easy week this week, but we go back again from Monday. I want to try and get a stone and a half on me. I want to get down to about, I weighed in at 23.5 stone for that one against Charlie Wood. I want I'm fighting a guy called Lyndon Coombs. He's a big guy, black guy, probably heavier than me, big lad, you know what I mean? So it's going to be another good shootout, do you know what I mean? I know he's training hard for me, sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm back in from Monday. I want to try and get a stone and a half off me before the fight. And like I say, these are just little baby steps, tuning myself up, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
I think my the guy I'm fighting on June the 6th, Lyndon, seems like a very nice guy. There is a podcast that we done a few weeks ago against each other, but I think with him, he's not going to move as quick as what Charlie Wood did. Charlie Wood could move, he could box, and he was on me, sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? I think against Lyndon, I think it's going to be less work rate, but probably more power.
Okay.
I'm expecting to have a bit of a headache after that fight.
Okay. You had the great Jerry Gorman in your corner.
Yeah.
Great guy, great trainer,
Yeah.
great reputation.
Yeah.
I met him for the first time also. Will he be in your corner?
Yeah. Jerry's the one who's sorting all the fights, so I'll leave everything to him. And obviously, like I say, we're not going to win all of them. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, his boxing stable is Britain's toughest and hardest men, and I'm one of the toughest men about. So that's why I fought under him. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, I also want to give a big shout out to Jerry also. Last question is anyone you want to give a shout out to? The sponsors? Anyone?
Yeah, just thanks for all the sponsors that have come on board. Obviously, we named them last time. Do you know what I mean? Without them, it just makes it a little bit easier for me. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, obviously, everyone who's put their time and effort into me, I just want to thank all the fans that have come and watched the fight as well. Do you know what I mean? I hope they enjoyed it, because it was an enjoyable fight.
Yes, it was.
Do you know what I mean? I took a lot of punches, a lot of shots, and even yourself, you said, "Fucking hell, Gaz, I think you're in trouble." I thought you was in trouble.
I did.
Nah,
Yeah.
nothing to worry about. I'm used to it.
Well, I didn't realise that there was an injury.
Yeah, that's the
Being a
problem.
boxer,
Yeah.
why he's not putting his hands up.
Yeah, I couldn't get my hands up, couldn't even lift it. I was in that much pain.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you know yourself, obviously I'm still in pain now, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
But yeah, obviously I hurt my left hand, which is my jab hand. So I couldn't even get my hands up to defend myself. I just literally had to roll with the punches.
Okay, but we look forward for future fights, especially in June. Faisal TV will be covering all the Gaz Green's, hopefully his fights coming up, and more importantly, not only podcasts but the training camp and stuff like that. But anyway, congratulations on a great performance.
Yeah.
Thank you for obviously hosting me in Tamworth and with all the team and all the people who turned up, and good luck in June.
Cheers, Faisal. See you then. Thank you.